I'm going to press record straight away because I just did about 15 minutes without pressing record. And that sucks because it was actually a really good take. I really enjoyed the way it was going. What can you do? What can you do? What can you do? All right. Let's give this another crack. Is it working? Are we working? We are working. Keel, I'm gonna turn it down because yeah. Man, okay, so welcome back to this breakdown. A little more casual today. I just wasn't really just keep it casual today. The next one will get the fedora back and spice up again. This is an important clip. Not the other ones were important. It's just I want to just emphasize just the importance of this one because I don't see it. I don't see it enough. Let's have a look and then tell you what I mean. Am I recording? Okay, that's enough for now. You see how it's captivating. It's fun to watch. It's entertaining. The word is, but at least for me, we don't have to have massive lasers and take our shirt off and all this other stuff. It's fun to just watch it and get the audience closer to you. To really be with you on the journey. And the approach of when do you play the next song, right? So the typical thing is 8 bars, 16 bars, okay, right? So that's just standard sort of when someone asks me, okay, when's the best time to play? Well, about 8 to 16 bars before when you want to do your next thing, right? The next, I would say, level from that is playing it within the structure of the music. So what I mean by that. So I know that and in electronic music, usually that sort of wash, that sort of that tail really signifies the sort of next section. Okay, so that sort of fall down. That sound of it signifies the next sort of break. It signifies the verse or whatever. And you can play your next song they want to blend in at that moment. Okay. Now this just takes a little bit of practice, but the best way to do it is to be within the music. So time it with the music and play play with the music. The great thing about when you're manually um, adjusting the tempo, you have control over also adjusting where the song fits in, and that's what we're doing here. So when we played it's just a little bit off, okay? Just a little bit, and then we're adjusting it. And the great thing here is you can even hear how we're changing the pitch a little bit, which I like to do. And now it's visually it's lined up to where I want it to be. Visually, that it's in line with the grid, and when I'm listening to it, it feels that it's working well. This is a moment when things just seem creatively aligned together. There are moments when I would like to go deeper within the music. Now, not every single thing has its own sort of hidden meaning, or a deeper sort of meaning behind it. Sometimes it's just fun to play, and people come up with their own interpretations. In this example, I found two pieces that work well together. In this example, they are just able to blend well together, and they work well with what I was wanting to achieve. So you notice how when you listen to the lyrics, I don't want you to fall apart, don't leave me now, etc. We're going nowhere. Just like that, it's not really like, yeah, okay. When we have another track that is almost in key, but a little bit off, it creates this bit of uncertainty. And the most important thing is it draws people's attention, right? Because it's a little bit off. It's a little bit off the kilter when the two songs are blending in, okay? And to do this sort of mix in, it's a little more challenging because there's a lot of information happening, right? You have the melody, you have the vocal, you have the bass elements. There's all the you have your prime information, and just cutting out a little bit of the low end is going to cut it for something like this. It's different when you're exiting a song which only has the kick or the snare or whatever, and you're going into another song that has the kick and the snare for the first 8 bars, and you just cut out the low end and you blend those two together, and cool, yeah. There isn't a lot of information there, and in most cases the similar kicks. But when you're doing something like this, when there's a lot of information, you're blending two together, you can sometimes create, this nice, almost detuned crossover. And if you have a song that has the lyrics that can work well with something like this, in this, for example, this is like this, you can really create something fun, and you can create something from a deeper perspective, not just face value. Um, Okay, now how would you do like something like this? Okay, well then again, we are talking about, this is, a much more, this takes time to develop this skill. We are talking about multiple different aspects here. We're talking about the counterpoint, like we mentioned. So you have the melody of one, you have the vocal of another, and they're playing with each other. Okay, we are looking at understanding the keys, understanding harmonically which ones are going to go together. Again, you have your ear training, so you know how that's going to work, if it's going to work well together or not. Then you're able to sort of push the limits of that. Okay, say I can use this one along this line, sort of going to work. Another thing is try and if you want to do something like that, try and practice it beforehand a little bit and be like, okay, I really like the vocals of this one. How can we sort of manipulate that? How can we sort of do something a bit more interesting for that? And then lastly, it's practice, 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 practice. In some cases, it's also just a bit of luck. Like here, it is a bit of just creativity, and you have a bit of luck that it works well together, and you're able to pull it off. You just have to be careful because, like I mentioned, there's a lot of information happening, and when you're not using a cappella, when you're using the full song from the melody, from the vocal, I mean, and then you're blending it in with another melody from the full song, you can run into trouble. But if you take those things into consideration, and you're able to complement the two together, you're able to really mash them up together to create your own live on the spot mashup. And if the vocals are able to sort of play along with it to create sort of a multi-layer aspect in your mixing, not just on face value, but to have the vocals almost tease what's happening, to draw the audience in a little bit, that just creates something entertaining. And if you're finding ways to be a little bit musical in your mixing. I hope that makes sense, right? The key is think about music, from not just there, but from the composer's perspective, from the person who created the music, and try and find creative ways to use the lyrics, use the vocal, use the song. Cool. So we're going nowhere, right? And we're using that effect. We're doubling down on that. We're using it creatively. We're picking the right moments of when to go with it. So again, we have two songs that are sort of working, right? But they're falling apart. Okay? And one of the songs you'll notice this is in a new song that's on the full album for my album. It's called Fracture, and we have this sort of aspect where sort of things at the end almost just fall apart. They almost break down. They almost just become chaotic, so much chaotic that things just break down, and then we bring it back in. And that's essentially one idea of what we're doing here. So we have two that sort of they're working, but they're clashing, but they're just working, and we can really just hone it in to make them almost fall apart. We're gluing this, we're keeping them together with the reverbs and everything, and now we're just we're adding in those effects. We're going on, lead now, and then we're honing in on that leading down the lead, and then we're breaking down. And what we're doing here is we're going into basic continuation of the piece that we've blended in. Okay, the vocal has ended. Okay, and it's like nowhere. And then you have a couple seconds of like what is going on, and then it just smoothly we just go into the next song. And it's almost like, okay, all right, and then we just continue and we move on. Not every moment has to be like 1, 2, 3, go. It can be a softer moment, and your people close their eyes, and They move more than their fists. They move their body, they move their hips, they move their legs, they move their, move their shoulders. That to me is dancing. Okay. Now, this section here, what we're doing is we're selecting the next song, right? So we're going straight into the next song, and I want to get it ready. Oops. All right. Cool. So we selected the song. We're getting it ready. But the thing is, I'm not vibing with it, okay? So I've selected it, I've listened to it. Nah, it's not really floating my boat. It's like, okay, let's find a difference. Let's find a different song. Now, question here is, okay, how the hell do you do that? Okay, what do you do? In tech music, it's quite minimalistic, right? So you have a lot of different options. A lot of songs start with, or tracks start with, kicks and snares and stuff like that. So it's a little bit easier to blend it in. When you are really doing something like this, when you are using the vocal, when you are using, heavier moments of the songs with a lot of information, the key is your ear training, and being able to listen from your headphones when you listen to a song, to know that if it's gonna work or not, if it's in key, if it's gonna mix in well with what you're doing. That just takes time. There's no shortcut around ear training. The only thing you can do is really be honed in on the data you put into Rekordbox or Serato, putting in, the artwork. That will help you a lot. I'm just kidding. Putting in, the key of the song, putting in the tempo of the song, putting in some notes about, okay, what songs have you found that go well with together? What are some moments that are difficult, that you found difficult to mix with in that song? How was the vocal? What's the tone of it? Is it more aggressive? Things that when you look at it, you'll know straight away, and they help you. That's one way to sort of get around it. And if you memorize, the chart, or the harmonic mixing chart, you'll know, okay, that was going to work well with this one. This might work well. And even if then you're finding it's not going to sort of work, you can just sort of shoot from the hip, pick it, and do a creative transition, and pause, create a tail, and then go into the next one. So you don't have to be too stressed out. But in this scenario, I'm wanting it to flow. Okay, and this is the moment in the mix where I want things to continue, I want them to flow. So we're trying to find something that's going to continue that flow, preferably a vocal. Another thing is also, I believe what I've done here as well, there's that great strong knob next to the main screen on the Pioneer, and the Pioneer decks. It controls the main interface and all your settings and stuff, right? You're able to, when the song's playing, zoom out and zoom in, okay, of the waveform. Zooming out really shows you how much time you have, and you can really see, okay, I have 8, 12, 16, and 32, and you can say, okay, I have X amount, it's running at 120 BPM, okay, that's going to give me roughly, around, that amount of time. If you look at most songs, 120, they're about 3.5 minutes, you have verse, chorus, okay, so now I have about maybe 30 seconds or so, roughly, okay, for this verse, before it's going to start building or transitioning, okay? So we have time to still to find another song. Cool, playing it, checking, finding moments, okay? Listen to the first one, okay, switching over. And we'll got it, okay? I'm happy with how it's the start of this one. and we're going to use it. Another another sort of thing you can do here is have a bank of of a different playlist, or have songs that you're familiar with. Have songs that are titled helps me get as a savior song, or it helps me get through a difficult moment, or when I get stuck, use this one, something like that, and that just gives you a little more freedom, a little less stress, and you can say to yourself, okay, cool. If I ever need a song when I'm not sure, I can let me use that one, or look through the playlist that you have and be like, okay, do I know any of the songs? Which one's the most which one's the one that I know the best? Is that one gonna work? Do I have any songs in my other playlist that I know is gonna work well with this one? Okay, and then go for that. Go for your first. Go with your intuition. Go with your gut feeling. Go with the first. Not the, go with something that pops in your mind. It might not be the best one. That might be the best idea, but after practice, usually, the thing that pops in your mind, the song that might help you, might be good. You never know. So use that, and trust yourself. Trust your gut in the songs that you pick. Cool. So now I know that we've picked what we wanted, right? But the melody is getting a bit repetitive, right? It's just sort of the same thing. Things are coming in and out. And Dan Mouse does this really well. He really likes just sort of long intros, extended versions. He really, even in his releases, he really sticks to that sort of 4, 8 bars, 16 bars. He likes those big sort of classic intros. And when he's playing it live, he's really creative about what he does. Every so often, he'll do something. He'll add a bit of reverb. He'll switch it up. He'll do this. He'll do that. And that's what we're doing here. We're just adding a bit of flair. We're adding a bit of that sweep, and a bit of that noise, creating a sort of bit of a sort of uplift. That's sort of a bit of a sort of that riser effect. And we're just having a bit of fun playing around with things. Adding a bit of reverb and a delay. Just having a bit of fun. Again, I'm emphasizing we're doing it musically, so going with the music, just like bam, din 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 din. You're going with it, so you're not just din 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 din. Imagine if you're playing bass, right, with the drums, okay, and they're very, very important to keep the groove, okay. So the bass is playing with the drums are playing with the bass, and you're locked in. You've got that groove, okay, and you can't just go and the drums are doing something else. You got to work with it, and then add a bit of a flair, and then continue with it. And that way you're creating that. That's what we're doing here. So that's the way I'm thinking, because I come from that perspective. You're thinking about how can you do it musically from a musician's perspective. Okay, if you're playing an instrument, that's what we're doing here. We're playing an instrument. Okay, playing that bass, we're playing that guitar. Okay, and how would you do that if you're playing with a band? The music's your band, and you're playing one of the instruments. Okay. Okay, so now we've added in the effect, letting it tail on, and we're pressing the cue point with the song, like we did before. Okay, we're not waiting for things to dissipate, we're playing along with it. On 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and we added in 2, 3, 4. And now we're just lining it up, making sure it's where we want it to be. Okay, and if you're listening along, right? 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's still not ended, okay? musically, it's still not ending, and you can tell that the song hasn't finished. Okay, so musically it's still going. It'd be weird if it just sort of randomly stopped now. So the 4 bars, the 8 bars, the 16 bars, that whatever, usually it's split up. It's 4 by 4, for most dance music, and we have, say 4, 8, 12, 16, right? A 16-bar chorus, right? Split up at the eights. If you just stop at 12, it's a bit weird. It works, but for something like this, it doesn't. For what I want to do next, it doesn't really work. So we're counting that, we're feeling that, and that just comes to practice. 3, 4, 1, 2, still going. It's not finished yet. You can feel it. See how the melody just changes? So it continues, and we have the answer. So it's giving the call, and then it finishes that with the answer, and then it just cuts out, and that's when we play. So call, do, change and switch. Let's watch it one more time. And we added in that, great big effect to help with the transition. Now you would say, okay, wow, and that blends well with the other one. And how do you do something like that? It just takes time. It takes time to train your ears to know, okay, musically the tone of the music, does it mesh well with what you're trying to do, melodically wise? Is it blending into what you want to do? It just takes time. Just doing one set, doing another one, do 100 of them, and you start picking up commonality. You start picking up, okay, that works with this, that works with that, and then you're able to, think on the fly, think on the spot, and know, okay, that one's going to go with this one. You start hearing similarities in the melodies for other songs, and you can connect them. And then you're able to be a little freer in how you approach your live mix. I mentioned that one of the early episodes of the importance of being able to play an acoustic instrument. For example, the guitar, and if you play some of your songs that you've been fond of over the years, particularly some of the heavy, metal songs, or even the more singer-songwriter, you pick up commonalities, you pick up things that work with the songs, and that only enhances and strengthens your ability to create your own music. And then once you played 10 songs, 15 songs, you start hearing, okay, this chord works with that chord, and then you start being able to create your own music from that. See how we listen? Let's listen to the melody, right? Okay, just check it. Okay, let me listen to the start. So you can hear the common melodies, right? So similar melodies, but different. And we're establishing that call and that answer, and we're sort of teasing that call and answer throughout, and we're able to create that sort of mash together, and the tone of it works well together. Then you're able to go and when you're listening onto that cue point, and you find, okay, doesn't work with it, and with enough practice you can hear it, and you're able to harmonize with it, and then you can be able to on the fly, but okay, that's going to work well together with that. Yeah. Okay, and one final thing I would say is that, we've just had a pretty intense few minutes, right? Yeah, very little dancing, and now we've just got into that next moment, and give yourself a little bit of a break and enjoy the music. Have fun with it. I know that I'm not buying. I'm like, okay, I know I don't have enough time. We got to go to the next one, right? But yeah, have a little bit of a break, and then go straight into the next one. What I'm doing here is, okay, let's just chill out for a second. Let's bring in that next nucleus, bring that next cue point, get that ready, and then we can just chill out and have a bit of fun. So that's what we're doing. We're selecting the next one, looking through. Okay, cool. Let's bring it in. And I'm just singing along with it, letting it build. I don't want to do anything. We've already done enough beforehand. Let it build. Give yourself this moment, okay? Have a little break, but as the build's coming in, instead of just standing there doing nothing and trying to sort of force with the audience to do something, use that moment to bring the next cue point, okay? So that gives you a bit of free time to have a bit of fun, and that's what we're doing here. We're bringing in that next cue point, getting it ready, and we're focused on our time management. And now we're able to let loose and have a bit of fun and dance with the song, okay? We've got the next one in. I know that, okay, I can chill out a little bit. Let's have some fun and dance. And turn off the... Okay. And you notice how, like, okay, cool. Give me 1 second. Okay, let's get a tempo up. So every minute, we're just doing the standard stuff that we need to do. Okay, we're bringing the song in. We're lining it up to that first cue point that we've selected or we've saved. We've saved. We get that ready. We're adjusting the tempo, making sure it's where we want it to be, and then we're good. Cool. Then we're able to listen, okay, and hear the next cue point, and this way we're able to still have a bit of fun with things. Just being super serious isn't fun. And again, this should be fun. It should be enjoyable. Just because we are the audience or the people that are having the most fun. Doesn't mean that we can't also let loose and enjoy things. It's just about being mindful of your time and finding pockets where you can just chill out a little bit and do what you need to do. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Some really important things here. At least for me, at least the way I mix. it's really important to have these sort of, I would consider some of this stuff really just really fundamental for the way I mix. And I would say that, don't be discouraged by wanting to mix with, all this information, and when you have, all these songs trying to compete against each other, when you have the vocal, you have the bass, you have the key melody, and you're trying to get those two to work together. That just takes time to really know which songs are going to work well together. So don't stress about that too much. It just comes to just doing it over and over again. It's one thing to do it on the computer. It's another thing to do it live on the deck. It takes a substantial amount of trial and error, and you develop the skill of being confident in doing something like that. So don't be discouraged. Just start with smaller steps, and work towards that. You'll notice in this next particular, there are moments when I'm like hyper focused, because I know that they're challenging to really get them together, because you are counterplaying with one melody and the vocal, and you really want them to. It's very easy for them to start sounding very. Anyway, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on that brand new breakdown episode, and thank you so much for watching. What else? That's it. I'm glad that it recorded. I didn't press record on this one to capture screen. I was filming, and then I realized, okay, it's 15 minutes of me just staring at the screen, and people are gonna be like, what is he talking about? Anyway, a little more casual today, just chill out a little bit. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get back to work, post up a bunch of new stuff for you all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, bye bye.